This week, we boldly go where no predictive text has gone before, and Zac Efron joins Metallica. We have a dream, we have an agenda, and we clearly just want to watch the world burn in a blazing ball of anarcho-nerd culture. It's Lose the Turn. Jack, shut the f*** up. Greetings and salutations. I'm your host, Chuck Mullins.
I'm Jack Mullins.
And I'm Matt Herring.
See, there's times you're supposed to talk, and then there's times you're not supposed to talk.
Are we going with that
buddy.
intro? I think I'm kind of down. I can bleep you out.
I'm down for it.
Yep, just bleep it out. So, I am excited more so than I should be. I've been hurt before, especially by Fox and their handling of Marvel properties. But we now actually have a release date in theory for Channing Tatum's, that name, Channing Tatum's not Batman, try again, Gambit. Oh boy. Now that Joaquin Phoenix is another Joker in the DC universe, I'm expecting like 50 more Batmen to appear. But back to Marvel. So this thing has had a stream of bad luck. I think they've gone through 3 directors so far, and it's just looked like it wasn't going to happen. And the last I heard, it was officially just kind of left by the road to die. But it looks as if we are looking at a June 7th of 2019 release. So there's not much else confirmed, which is kind of scary because you usually kind of figure the rest of that stuff out before you set a release date, but that's their plan.
So a few interesting bits about this. Basically, the last time there was a major push for this movie was during our previous iteration of the show.
Thanks for stealing my words, Matt. I mean, that's exactly where I was going. But steal my thunder. Continue.
The other thing is that the previous release date was cause for worry. Movies released in February are never expected to do well. That's generally the time when you release because no one's going to the theater and you gotta release, and you can blame it on the fact that people aren't going to the theater, they're saving their money from the holidays, etc., etc.
Right.
So, I'm happy to see that they're pushing for a June release now. That means they're probably putting more money in it. They have more faith in it. And, Channing Tatum, I think he can do a good job with that. I've enjoyed some of his work in 21st Jump Street, 22nd Jump Street. And
Chuck and I had talked
Magic
about this. Chuck and I talked about this on that previous episode that you had discussed, on the old Lose the Turn from years ago. About our thoughts as Channing Tatum, and I had a big problem with it just because, and so did Chuck initially, because we can't visualize anybody doing Gambit better than the cartoon Gambit. But I think Channing Tatum would do a lot better, especially better than the one that was in, what was that, Wolverine Origins is when they showed Gambit for the first time.
I can't even remember who the actor was for that.
Yeah.
I didn't care for him much. He wasn't terrible, but...
I think they should get the Gambit from the Pete Holmes X-Men skits where he fires all of the X-Men.
Yes.
The Gambit there was all right.
The Gambit there was pretty good. Very close to the cartoon Gambit that I need.
Yep, right. But, I mean, truth be told, Channing Tatum has been stoked for this since day one. He is a fan.
Yeah. And
he wants this in his life. So, as long as the actor is, this... I don't want to say emotionally attached, but, it feels familiarity with the character and is passionate about making this movie. I don't think it could be too bad.
I think he'll do well.
And this really is an important bit for Lose the Turn because all of our hosts, I believe Gambit is our favorite character. Well, you know what? I guess I have to be fair. Kitty Pryde is way up there on the list for me. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I always, I don't know. I was a huge X-Men fan, but I loved Excalibur, and that was one of the first teams I think that Kitty Pryde broke off into with Nightcrawler and Megan and Captain Britain. And I collected those comics obsessively, so I was extremely excited whenever I heard that Tim Miller, the director of the Deadpool flicks, is doing a Kitty Pryde flick.
Oh,
and
cool.
This is happening at a very, very rapid pace. The writer attached is Brian Michael Bendis, who has done amazing work, not only in the X-Men universe, but in several flagship properties across DC and Marvel Comics. He's, I love him. He has done some very good independent titles as well. So he's hired by the studio to write the script. You've got Tim Miller, like I said, from Deadpool, who's going to be directing. We don't know who is going to be Kitty Pryde. I mean, there's always a chance, I guess, Ellen Page could come back, but I kind of hope not.
Yeah.
And the movie's supposed to focus on... it was one of Kitty Pryde's first kind of solo-focused issues. It was Uncanny X-Men number 143, in which the rest of the team is out and about doing their own things away from the mansion, and she's there by herself whenever, during Christmas, while some demon invades the mansion, and it's her kind of one-on-one survival against this demon in the mansion. And I'm pretty sure I actually own that comic. I hope I do. I
mean, Fox just needs to give all this up and let Netflix try to do it like they did with Daredevil. I'd like to see some one-offs with a bunch of different X-Men.
I mean, I would agree with you, but I am glad with how they took care of Deadpool. You know,
Yeah,
that's true.
They didn't let me down there.
Though,
If they're willing to learn from their lessons.
Ryan Reynolds gets 90% of the credit there.
Yeah, he
had
made
the
sure
fire.
Well,
that it
that's
was
why
done
we need to
right.
cast Ryan Reynolds as Kitty Pryde, or at least as Lockheed, the little dragon that follows her around everywhere. I mean, he's already Detective Pikachu. I don't think...
Yes.
You know what, though? While we're at it, we could go ahead and put
Let's
him
start a
as,
petition. Ryan petition is Kitty Pryde. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We
Sorry,
could also
Matt.
do Reynolds as Handsome Jack in the upcoming Borderlands flick.
No, I mean...
I think he could do it. You just put some
could,
putty
but
on that
no.
chin to bring it out there, and
No, you have to use... What's his friggin' name? Don't do this to me.
Damian Clark.
Damian Clark. It has to be
Yes.
Damian Clark. So there's no... I mean, he could... Okay, Ryan Reynolds could play one of his dupes.
Yeah.
He could be one of Jack's dupes.
Oh, yes. Timothy Lawrence. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like that.
I think they should
I'd
like
totally
that.
be into that. I dig it a lot.
So... at the front of the show, I teased Zac Efron joining Metallica, and I think I would prefer that to the reality, which is James Hetfield's decided he wants to start an acting career, apparently. So he has shaved off his beard and donned some long sleeves and is now going to play the officer who arrested Ted Bundy in Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, the upcoming flick about Bundy. With Zac Efron, John Malkovich is apparently in it. I don't know why anyone would do this. Yes, as the judge, which, I mean, I'd be excited just to watch John Malkovich at the podium or whatever you fucking call it with a gavel for an hour and a half. That alone be good. Yeah, so we saw how that topic flopped. That's how the movie's going to go.
Well,
I really just want to see this play out, give it more time, maybe. This is a movie I actually care to see the trailer for. Normally, I don't want to spoil myself, but go ahead, Jack.
I got really confused because Chuck said John Malkovich, and I instantly thought John Cusack, and that was a completely different image in my head.
Ooh, maybe we should push for Being John Cusack, starring Ryan Reynolds. Carbon and Dust. These folks over at, Derby. It's derby.com, I think. It's the Derby resource. Either way, they're a geek-friendly fitness group. and they released a couple of games that are supposed to encourage you to exercise over the last couple of years. And this week they've launched Carbon and Dust, which is a role-playing game that you can play just by reading along with the chapters. And it's a space colony setting. And you read through the chapter and then are cued to perform various exercises and, do this move, do that move X number of times. And then you go through the rest of the text and proceed till you reach the end of the chapter. It's meant to play out as like a 30-day fitness plan.
So I'm really into this idea. Microsoft recently crushed Xbox Fitness. They just eliminated it. They gave everyone a refund for anything they had purchased on it. And Xbox Fitness was one of my favorite ways to work out. It had a lot going for it, being able to, you could download like Insanity programs or Tai Chi programs and follow along, and the Kinect would monitor your body, make sure you were doing the right movements, and actually score you based on your posture and position, where you were working your muscles.
With what
and your
level
heart
of
rate.
Accuracy versus your physical ability and comfort? Like
it was recommended by a lot of doctors for people in physical therapy. There was a lot of accuracy.
Touch your ear to your elbow. Like, break your fucking neck. No, this sounds awful.
Put your foot behind your head. Zero.
It really was
failed.
fantastic. Josh Jesport, who may be co-starring with us one of these weeks, did the Insanity workout with me a few times. And
cool. I didn't know that.
It was a lot of fun. The problem is I moved into an upstairs apartment, and I have not been able to do it in 4 years. Because
come the fuck on. When we were kids living in apartments, we still played track and field.
Shit, we slip and slide inside the apartment.
I wish I could get away with that being 200 pounds, but unfortunately not. I'm scared my floor would cave in.
I was 6.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, you can just go to derby.com and Carbon and Dust is right there on the top of their page. It's free. Just cruise through it. I mean, I enjoyed reading the first chapter. I didn't do any exercise. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just go there and click on it and start and work out.
Okay.
So that's a free bumper for them. Now
sponsor us. I'm just kidding.
Right. Anyone, give us your money. So for some reason, and I haven't read too much into this yet. Good job, me. That's the prep work I do. But apparently Bandai America is giving over the rights to the Power Rangers action figures to Hasbro. Now, Jack, you were a hardcore Power Rangers fan growing up.
Yeah.
I always hated those toys. I thought they were terrible.
I mean, like the flip action head, like you sit there and you press their belt and like their head flips around with a spring action movement. So their helmet just flips on randomly, but they're always wearing their sweet ass Ranger tighties. Like
I forgot about that.
Dude, I love
these are my pajamas.
My favorite toy were the Ninja Ranger ones when they had the ninja costumes on. I think Kimberly's, the Pink Ranger, she had like this net she would shoot out. And it was so stupid, but it was delightful. The spring-loaded action of it was great. So Hasbro's taking them? Is that right?
Yeah, so Hasbro's taking them, and I mean, I don't know. Hasbro's been on our shit list before. They've been on our radar for some of their absurd things they've done or lawsuits they've threatened. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is Hasbro has been in the game of making quality toys, at least.
You hear that cringe?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say that with a straight face, but
honestly, they should be able to make quality toys. You're talking about most of the TV shows that we think of as kid shows are for the sake of selling toy merchandise because they have insane margins on them. Power Rangers is one of those. Netflix has like 20 kid shows that are solely the entire reason they made those shows that kids watch the same episode over and over again, driving their parents crazy, is to sell the toys.
Yep.
And it's been successful.
Transformers, the X-Men animated series was all about toys. I mean, and that was Playmates, Bandai Namco, and Hasbro all the way, like making the bank off the merch.
So they damn well better be able to give high quality toys with the margins they're looking at.
Now,
and with the tons of money that Hasbro has, it should be able to. What were we going to say, Jack?
Now, my thought on this is, I gave up on Power Rangers long ago after, something like Turbo or some crap. So I didn't really care. Until the new release of the movie, it was pretty cool, actually. Kind of really enjoyed it. So if they're just going to keep making toys for, like, any generation before the movie, then I don't give a shit. Let Hasbro fuck it up. Doesn't matter. If it's for the movie, then they better do it right. Or for the original. Better do it right. Don't fuck up Hasbro.
Or for...
I don't know. What they really need is a toy that looks like that little robot from the original. And every time I press this button, or you know what, let's go Alexa style, and I'll name it Jack and say, "Hey Jack, say your catch line."
Aye. Fuck you.
All right.
I hate you
Rangers.
so much.
Oh, yes. Good job, Alpha 5.
Zordon. Hasbro's taking over our toy company.
Call Ryan Reynolds. Aye.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love you for that, Jack.
So, now, Hasbro, even though they just got this amazing property and they have more money than God, decided they want more money. And the way they're going to do that is through crowdsourcing, because it's insane the amount of money people can make just from the passion of the fans. And that's served to get us some pretty amazing movies made and games made. But Hasbro has launched its own crowdsourcing platform called HasLab, and is currently unveiling its first project, which is this 13-pound, 4-foot-long replica of Jabba the Hutt's sail barge. And I don't know. My question is, why on earth does Hasbro need its own crowdsourcing?
Right now, what I have in my mind is a giant Lego style thing.
No. I mean, it's just a giant 4-foot-long single fucking huge ship.
Who desperately wants this? This seems like somebody on their team had always one of these things to paint themselves, and they're like, well, maybe I can get my company to do it. And the company's like, who wants this? So he's like, well, why don't we just do what Sony did and try to get this crowdfunded?
And I mean, that's definitely something, but what if the idea of, like, maybe with, there's no transparency, and maybe Hasbro foresees themselves going downward, and they're just trying to prevent anything before they, actually start losing money.
Right. And I'm not saying nobody would want this. I'm saying the amount of people who would want this at the $150 to $200 they'll probably sell it at is very limited.
Right. Very niche.
I mean, I don't know.
Niche.
I don't know about that. I mean, with Star Wars properties, anything can go there. But, I mean, the people who were watching that in the 70s, are the corporate bankers and shit of the world today. And the IT, technical, security fields, all that.
Who no longer have time to paint their own models.
Right.
This isn't a small thing. This is very much in the 20 to 30-year-old, hey, I'm going to spend a lot of time, evenings after work, to paint this and make it look pristine and put it up on my shelf. Also, I spent like $200 on the model to begin with because it looks huge.
Well, I mean, again, I guess this is why they're crowdsourcing, because they'll know immediately how many people are going to want it. And the one thing I'm not sure about is, I mean, it's not a pre-order. It's not a Yeah, I was gonna say if it was a pre-order thing and you get 100 people interested, then you can go ahead and make 100 and not, make extras. But if this is to just see if they can reach a goal and then at that point mass produce it, then I guess this protects them from making toys that would otherwise never be made.
Right.
But at the same time, having their own internal crowdsourcing platform, I don't know if that's ethical or if it's just fucking brilliant.
Sure, you are getting at the larger point here. Why does a company with that much money, why are they... It seems like crowdsourcing is the medium for independent creators to actually get a foothold in the market and create more competition, instead of people who have already eliminated their competition taking that foothold away from others. I don't know. If there's demand for the product, then I'm okay with the idea that they crowdsource some of this, especially if they're saying, hey, if we get 100 people, we'll make it for those 100 people, send it out to them. If we get 1,000 people, we'll start actually producing this. I think I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, I mean, I understand.
If you
understand it from the
really
aspect of
think
proving. Go ahead.
If you really think it's going to get 1,000, they have no business in this market. Is the last part I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, you're saying that if they aren't, sorry, are you saying if they get more than 1,000? I'm
sorry. The arbitrary 1,000 that I set was that's when if they get 1,000 people interested, then we'll actually produce this and try to sell it. If we get 100 people, we'll just produce it for those 100 and we won't mass produce it. If they're using metrics like that, which almost all crowdfunders are, then why? They have no business if they really expect it to do well.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a fair point. So there's this little group called Botnik that specializes in interesting little AI projects such as like predictive texts. And if you go to Botnik's website, which I should have already had up, but me being me.
So these are the guys that wrote that really strange Harry Potter chapter, right?
Yes.
It was like a sequel Harry Potter chapter or book. I can't remember which. And it was just bizarre trying to get through a sentence.
Yes.
Same guys?
Yes,
Okay.
Exactly. It's Botnik Studio, which you can reach at botnik.org. They have a long list of predictive text engines they've created. They feed it a ton of information about a certain property and then kind of let it go nuts with predictive text. And so they've written episodes and scenes from Scrubs, Seinfeld, etc. And this week they released Star Trek The Next Generation, episode 279, Here's Looking at Q. And this was all done through a predictive English is good for me. Predictive text engine. Yeah. That really is my theme song.
You know,
Every
that
time I
actually
walk into a room.
did sound a lot like the Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is good for me. All right. Anyhow, so we've got a new episode of Star Trek The Next Gen coming out of this.
Here's
Botnik.
Looking at Q. Yep. And it's
So should we read this for
taking place? We should. We should absolutely read it. This is taking place on Captain Picard's first space birthday.
Let's let the audience hear how bizarre this is. On his first space birthday. I imagine that was a line that came out of the Botnik as well.
It was his first birthday in space. I'm just paraphrasing because that is what I do.
Because space shuck, that's why.
All right. I am looking at this. How about I take narrator and Worf?
Sounds good.
I'll take Q.
I will... Jerk. I wanted Q. Okay, I'll go Picard. I can't do a Picard where shit, so...
All right.
I can't do a Q, so...
We haven't done this since pre-release days where we've actually tried to roleplay a part, so y'all are in for a treat right now. Ready? And...
Stale treat.
Picard and Worf in the dining room of family restaurant.
Mr. Wolf, I appreciate this present of clothes for my birthday, but as I am a boy, I need me my toys.
You have disgraced my father with your words. Q falls out of the ceiling wearing cargo pants.
The time for me is here.
Q, I see you have a concussion.
I'm immortal, Picard. I have hurt my head a very big number of times.
Q takes a bite of his hand and then turns into a tractor.
This is from the past!
Paid out.
Wow. That's so ridiculous.
I'm hooked. I think we need a full season.
Well, it's not like they have to pay anybody for the writing. They have algorithms for that now.
So that's exactly what my fear was, is that going forward, at least there's going to be a period of time where our only purpose as humans are to be the little entertainment monkeys that act out the scripts that are created by AI and the cameras that are controlled by AI. I mean, we're putting ourselves in a zoo, guys. And, after... Nothing gives me more confidence that is going to be our future than Google's current project, which they're working on something that is under the name of Area 120, which is a system that will reply to your text, your Google Hangouts, your Facebook, your Twitter, all that crap, all of your social platforms. It's there to automatically reply via predictive text options. It will take into account your current location, things on your calendar, traffic in your area, weather. And so if you get a text from your friend being like, hey man, you coming over? What time are you going to be here? It will automatically populate something to the effect of, oh yeah, bro, I will be there at 7:30 due to traffic. And you just say like, oh yeah, that's good enough. Now, I am pretty bad. Like I 99% of the texts I send out, I am bitter because I hate fussing with my phone and having to text, but I hate talking on the phone even more. So I'm going to just fuss and yell at my phone.
Chuck, this is awful showmanship on my part. I'm going to recap that because my head just went on an adventure where the AI script writers went on strike and how our world just went to hell because of that strike. The first AI strike ever. And it's definitely from the script writers because that's classical. Anyway, so to recap, you're telling me I can be driving home and Shelby can text me, ask me what time I'm getting there, and without me unsafely pulling my phone out or trying to auto-dictate a text message, it's just going to respond, look at traffic, and say, yeah, he'll be home at 7:37.
I mean, I believe it would automatically provide like 3 options spoken as you. Like, or, I'm assuming 3, but it's like, which one of these is the message you want to send? Fuck you, I'm never coming home. Oh, based on traffic, I'll be there at 7:30, or you're not my real dad.
This is kind of something I
was. This is assuming that Botnik is working with Google on developing this.
This is assuming we're using Chuck's phone.
God. I have hurt my head a big number of times.
Well, he normally responds like this. I mean, 90% of the responses are "fuck you." You're not my real dad, so.
Well, what bugs me about this, in all sincerity, is the fact that, like, obviously, Chuck, you're my brother. I text you in a very different connotation than my wife and my landlord.
Yeah.
What is going to come up of this if it just automatically takes care of it for me? Like,
the fan fiction starts writing itself.
Literally, between Botnik and Google, the fan fiction will write itself.
Sorry, fanfictors, you're out of the job. The algorithms got you.
Right.
That's the real goal here.
Instead of /fic, it'll start being called #flick.
Google's just harvesting all of these conversations to create the most horrifying fanfics ever. I'm remembering episode 6 that we never released with the Rule 34 content in it.
Oh,
God,
boy.
you two are terrible people.
Just remember,
Mostly.
anything that algorithm is going to type for you is in the book or Library of Babel. So
That's true. It's already been written.
it's already been written.
Just hasn't been pulled from that shelf yet. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and blend another conversation into this. I'm going to skip ahead a topic just because of where we went here, where it has been stated by a futurist that human speech will absolutely be replaced by thought communication by 2050. And this is no surprise. I've been seeing articles with this title come from several different news sources, and every single one of them has buried the fucking lead on this so fucking hard. Now, that invokes the idea of, okay, we'll just be speaking through some sort of, like, conscious thought to voice translator and transmit that data to someone else and, you know, be able to essentially have
conversations over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth.
Yeah, being able to be essentially telepathic via that.
I have spent hours, let's say weeks and weeks of thought trying to think about how this would possibly work and how you could make that translation. And it kind of scares me to hear it put so flippantly. It really does.
So this is what's even worse, is that I thought it would be like, you know, a potential close range in which you allow communication or not, because you don't want to be at a bar and just have some drunk singing like, I get knocked down, but I get up again, you're never gonna get me down, like screaming that through his drunken headset for fucking 3 days, because there'd be a huge spike in murders and drinking would be outlawed. So we can't have that. We need our booze. So it would have to first have some sort of, you know, allow communication from this contact from this person, yes, and then have people that are kind of on an always chat mode, so I could communicate to my fiance in Houston while I'm across the state. And so when you think about that, that's brilliant, that's fun, I can see the benefit of that. We're probably never going to speak again, we aren't going to text anymore. But this article in which this idea was presented was at the World Government Summit in Dubai, and then the Museum of the Future. There's this project called Hybrid Intelligence Biometric Avatar, HIBA. And these are some quotes from this that I want you to listen to. HIBA will understand the feelings of people connected to it, take on their personas, exchange information with them, and even become part of the fabric of their brains.
Nope.
That's the first, that's the opener.
Nope.
Yeah.
Going further, HIBA will have the ability to connect to the minds of the most clever of us, combining those minds with everything it can find out practically and put it all together in hybrid intelligence. I love the fact that he chose to say the most clever of us. No, it's going to connect to every fucking dumbass who's online, and it's going to aggregate all of our stupidity.
So is this going to become some kind of like ridiculous hive mind that's either fully retarded or fully intelligent and then just becomes
Exactly. He's saying that the brain-to-brain communication, this is going to be the epicenter for brain-to-brain communication. HIBA would work much the same as existing applications such as Siri and Alexa, but on a much grander, more sophisticated scale. It says that it will enable people to connect with friends, family, or business owners in a more profound manner. Now, during the display here or something, it's kind of fuzzy, this part where he's talking about the exhibition, but he says it'll be able to collect data from us, people themselves, and ask questions verbally. As part of the exhibition for HIBA, visitors are encouraged to stand on pedestals which surround the AI avatar where their faces become part of HIBA. The avatar then tells them, I am made of you. No, that's not a good voice. What voice should I use for the avatar?
I'm made of you.
Mickey Mouse.
Bleed me and help me grow.
There was a topic where this would be legal, potentially in a few years.
You allow me to evolve. With each synergy, I learn more. Through this oneness, we can achieve great things.
We are going to do some research on it and come back and talk to y'all about Disney's copyright. It may no longer be extended. So a lot of the Mickey Mouse stuff, we could make voices of him, and I could cease and desist it. Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that it'll kind of fall into Creative Commons at that point.
Yeah.
Or public domain, excuse me.
Public domain. Right.
I will say, though, that this whole hive mind thing happens. Just be sure to put your stocks into ibuprofen, because that sounds noisy and fucking irritating.
Right. So what I'm really wondering about this hive mind, we keep calling it a hive mind, is...
That's what it is, come on.
Is it saying it's automatically going to download information to your brain?
Well, I mean, we are also talking about at the same pace having to integrate with AI in order to survive. As it is, networks can outthink us and blow us out of the water whenever they're given a specific task. So we know whenever the stronger we make them, the more purposes we give them, we are making ourselves further and further useless. We aren't going to have any jobs left to do. We aren't going to have any reason to survive. The only way to counteract that is to integrate with AI so that we can be just as quick and intelligent and you know,
well, and a large part of it
adaptable.
Is how many skills can you learn in your life, and how many skills will you need to be a productive member of society going forward? We've already got people that are in 6, 7, 8 years of college that still can't find jobs.
Yeah.
You almost always have to, for any chance at having a successful career, spend, 6 to 10 years in that career field and learn and become proficient at it, and then move into an area you never really wanted to be in as you step up that career ladder.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we are talking about the fact that, with our short, limited lifetimes, we spend the first 30 years of it in school so that we can effectively spend the next 30 years of it in working professions to maybe, hopefully, spend the last 30 years of it retired. And we need a little bit of assistance. Like, computers have definitely made our work easier, and they made people more prosperous, but touching on the subject we were just talking about, how do we feel about everyone being hive-minded together?
No.
I mean, when it comes to just being hive-minded, no. That is way too every
how do you do it otherwise?
Sci-fi trope in the world. Well, I mean, I like the idea of like autonomous communication, an autonomous network. You are equipped to be able to speak with that person, but you don't have to have some central framework and hub that collects that data and then transmits it down.
Chuck,
that
Google
is
exists.
where it feels a bit invasive. But if we're getting to a point where we're already having to integrate with AI, then there is no unthinkable thought, and there is not even any thought crime anymore, because it literally is that hive mind at that point. I mean, we are going to be the fleshy meat batteries. We're going to still be under... Come on, English here, Mullins. We're still not going to be as effective in the world as our robotic counterparts, even with an AI-enhanced brain and some sort of little exoskeleton to let me lift this car. I mean, we're still going to essentially be useless meat sacks. But I think we could survive a couple more decades if we at least integrate with AI before we go extinct. I mean, we can't even sperm right anymore. The male chromosome is failing it's starting to falter in its presence.
I sperm left all the time.
Sorry. I mean, there's so many different factors going against us, and I think it's just time to embrace our no longer robot overlords. Let's just become the robots.
Well, and I think that is where we're going. But again, hive mind. Y'all have expressed concerns about this. And
I don't want it until I don't care.
I have those concerns as well.
Here's my problem. Here's my idea. If we become a hive mind, at what point, when you have this like collective conscious thought amongst every individual, do you become not yourself anymore? I mean,
okay. So, and this is the subject I've been wanting to touch on for a while. I am a strong proponent of free will and the idea that you are not the thoughts that you think. You are a little hermit sitting on a mountain that's on top of a monkey brain that's like founded on a lizard brain and all of that. And those thoughts play a role in influencing you. But you you can dictate what happens despite the stimulants that are going through your brain. And
okay.
So what I'm suggesting is, who in their right mind wants to have all of the Facebook outrage that's out there right now directly downloaded straight into your brain and try to resist that? If you want that, talk to me, because you're a fascinating person and I need to know what your thought process is. Please.
Also bring some ibuprofen. Again, stock's going up. Trust me.
Yeah.
You have a very, very poignant point there. Yeah. I do not volunteer as tribute for that.
I mean, I try it out once, but
yeah, as long as you turn it off and have a flow control and... Yeah, I don't want to hear other people. I want to hear facts. I want to learn things. I want to be able to calculate and develop, but I don't want to have to interface with the thoughts and concepts of others without explicit invitation.
So you want your brain to cloud compute is what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds great. Trust me, I'd be down for that. Like, totally. As long as I don't have to hear the thoughts.
I mean, college would be a 12-minute program.
Well, that would be amazing. The problem is, even with college, you still have to build the appropriate adult habits, and I think that's where most of us struggle in the first place.
Sure, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I wouldn't have to drive to school every day. That would be nice.
Right. You just dream about your lectures, just like downloaded while you're sleeping?
Oh yeah, I'd absolutely be down for that. Why do you think I always have that main line of audiobook going into my ear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcasts,
Absolutely.
whatever, constantly studying, trying to retain any information I can. The idea of having a better memory than I do, oh my god, I'd rule half the world if I had a remotely decent memory.
That's really what I want to say is, to be honest, it's going to be amazing. Now, yes, there's a lot of horrible, horrible things. And not only that, I mean, how long is it going to take? 2 months before we also have constant ad feeds in our head? So, like, the moment that you're trying to calculate it, it's like, buy ibuprofen. The reason your head hurts right now is because you're thinking too hard. Get ibuprofen.
I would immediately download uBlock Origin to my brain. It's no question.
Right.
Well, then, and the next
There
thing
you
that pop
go.
up is download Samsung Pay, so you can pay for this ibuprofen
Oh
or
my
pay for
God.
this ad remover.
Just smack your head into this wall to make a payment.
Pay for your
But-
coffin with Samsung Pay.
The advancements that we would make if we did begin to integrate with AI is honestly incalculable at this point from a human mind. I mean, the closest we have are people like Elon Musk who can envision this stuff with a little bit of frame
Sanity.
of reference that may be close to reality. So I'm along for the journey, for whatever that's worth. I'm excited to see where the hell we're going.
As long as nobody ever tells me I have to, I'm okay with these advancements. But
Same here.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
I agree.
absolutely. You know what? I wasn't necessarily. Nah. I'm not gonna bring it up.
Batman.
Actually, I am. There was
okay.
just I'm glad to see that there is a man, and I'll keep his name out of it because Google exists, and no one's gonna be able to figure out who I'm talking about, who was involved in a swatting case. A couple of months ago, and he has now been busted, tied to several other cases, including one that happened last week, and even some bomb threats.
Is this where you're playing Call of Duty and you're upset at someone and you call the SWAT on them from their IP address? And have the SWAT come
essentially,
to their... Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. If anybody ever does that shit, fuck them. They're the biggest pieces of shit in the world. I fucking hate these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is vile. It is absolutely vile. One of these things he was involved in, unfortunately, did end up with the death of an innocent man. He is in jail for manslaughter and for several other charges. So I think this is the first case of someone being tried and charged for a remote. I could be wrong, at least by a virtual and for swatting. But it was interesting, and I'm glad to hear that we're at least able to start following up on this shit because it's been going on for too long. Yeah. Also, he was remorseful to the point where he said, "You can hang me right now. You can give me 5 years. You can give me 10 years. You can give me 15 years. None of it is going to take back what happened, and I will take whatever's thrown at me because I can never give that family their person back." So
you know what? They need to take that guy out and put him on Call of Duty. Make him give an advertisement like this is what I did. This is how I fucked up. And the same thing they do with drunk drivers that have gone to jail.
Right.
If he's showing some genuine remorse, let him, get some karmic relief.
Speak to anybody else,
and maybe benefit the world. That'd be...
I didn't mean to bring it down if that was down.
No.
I was just... I think it's an advancement, at least in our society.
Definitely.
So I was glad to read that, despite the kind of sad undertones.
That's something that's legitimately has scared me from playing games like this, in the past. Like, it literally worries me because that can happen. I don't want my wife or, my roommates, my best friends getting shot because somebody didn't like me on a video game. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the moral of the story is just always try to be a decent person, and that probably won't happen to you.
And uninstall Animal Crossing. That's like a hotbed for SWAT action.
What?
Just uninstall Animal Crossing. I don't fucking know. Guys, how about we get a little Stranger Than Fiction?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, man.
So, Mr. Jack. Epona was originally going to make her debut in Super Mario 64.
False.
It is true, you knucklehead.
I don't believe you, and I need documentation.
I don't believe you either.
I need documentation.
Google it.
You've been wrong
Download
before.
it in your brain.
I need documentation.
Mr. Matt.
Yes, sir.
The game with the highest average score of all professional video games is Ocarina of Time.
Score? What?
The video game with the highest average score of all professional video games is Ocarina of Time. Like, across your Metacritic's gaming magazines, IGN's, Games Radar, all of the video game go-to rating.
First, I was thinking Pac-Man score, then I was thinking music scores, and the English was not working. Also, what time period are you talking about?
Up to date?
All time.
That matters. No, is it today
or time.
Was this in 2016?
Yeah, that's a valid point. That matters.
I'm going to say true.
Okay, then I'm going to say that's true too. Mr. Jack. Clash of Clans was originally designed to be a Sonic the Hedgehog mobile game. Sega denied the usage of their iconic character and now regret not making $5.5 million a day.
I want to say true.
It's false, you dum-dum.
Man, I'm doing terrible today.
Yep. Mr. Matt.
Yes, sir.
Batman Arkham Asylum is the first game for major platform... is the first game for major platforms to depict the online gamer act of swatting?
Never played the game. I am going to say false just because of the time frame of that game.
Yeah.
All right, it's false.
It was like COD 2 or something.
Mr. Jack. Oh, wait, that means you got a point. Okay, Jack, for 2 points. Mario Odyssey is the first Super Mario game without a game over screen.
Pretty sure it has a game over screen. I've played it. No, it doesn't. You're right. Wait, no, first. Oh, fuck. False.
Jack for absolutely 0 points.
Fuck me!
Hey, Matt.
Is here.
Jesus, you're going to knock this one out of the park, I hope.
I hope so.
The names of the 4 ghosts in Pac-Man in Japan are translated to Fickle,
True.
Chaser, Ambusher, and Stupid.
Oh, no, false.
No, it's true.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
No tiebreaker today, motherfucker.
No tiebreaker, but here's a bonus question. And
All right, you just
I'll
rebranded
try
it.
to word it in a way that is bonus question-y. For all 6 people who bought this movie,
Dragon Ball
you
Z
might
Evolution.
have noticed... I would be the 7th. But actually, the fact is I own this flick too. For all 6 people who bought this movie, you might know that despite it being horrendously unsuccessful, it had its own Easter egg. When selecting a blue box in the highlight section of the movie's bonus DVD, it will play a CGI pseudo-remake of Michael Jackson's Thriller using the characters from the film.
Sonic the movie.
CGI film in which the main character, I think, was modeled
Final
after
Fantasy:
Sandra
The
Bullock.
Spirits Within.
That would be it. There is a Thriller
Wow.
remake with all the characters in the DVD menu.
Of what
Wow.
movie?
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's what you
saw
said,
that movie
Sandra
in
Bullock.
theaters.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, same here.
I can never forget that movie.
Chuck and I both did, actually. We were together
When we watched it in the
that
theater?
explains a lot about y'all.
at AMC
Oh. Huh.
with Dad.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I remember seeing it in the theater. I can't remember who I went with.
90% of the trauma in your life, your shared trauma, came from that experience, right?
Yeah,
am I
that's
understanding?
true.
Are we
that's why
closer
I-
now?
I think we're all closer.
I think this just became a better show.
Let's get bonded.
Oh boy.
That was gross. That's so gross.
Much closer. Much closer.
A little too close.
Close.
Let's get a little too close. All right.
Well, let's close this.
With all the losing that's going on, do y'all have any wins? If y'all
I
would
don't
like
really
me to
have
lead, I
too
can.
much this week. Other than Udemy is still a fantastic resource for expanding my brain until I actually get linked up to Heba and our Google Future Hive Mind. I've been taking a C# and Udemy course there. Unity course, not Udemy. Jesus, that's what I'm talking about.
Unity.
Error. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's been very, very helpful. And I've noticed it improving several other ancillary skills not directly pertaining to C# and Unity itself. So, yeah, Udemy, good place to go. It has good sales, all that good stuff.
Yes.
And then, I think that's it.
All right. Jack, would you like me to go ahead and go, or?
I'll do mine. Mine's pretty sweet and simple. I saw something earlier this week that just kind of re-sparked my idea of fulfilling nostalgia. and realized that they actually officially announced Spyro the Dragon to be remade for PS4 and be released, I think, next year. Which I was obsessed with that game as a kid on PS1. So the fact that they're remaking
is this gonna be a new game or a remaster or something?
It's a remaster like what they did with Crash Bandicoot. They completely redid the game and made it beautiful on PS4. They're doing the same thing with Spyro.
I'm pretty sure I hear Shelby cheering in the next room right now.
I fucking love Spyro. I haven't even bought Crash Bandicoot yet, and I'm killing myself for it because I've been dying to play that as well. But Spyro the Dragon remade for PS4, I'm fucking dying over. Like, I'm so stoked for this. It's going to make me so happy. It's going to make my child heart happy.
Absolutely. That is the game I've been wishing they would do for a long time.
Yeah.
Speaking of nostalgia and childhood shaping events, shows being remade, Hoshin Ingi, or as it was called in America, Soul Hunter, probably was more influential in my learning to love anime than Dragon Ball Z. It came out in 1999, and it is a long, well put together story. It is adapted from the book The Investiture of the Gods, which is a 16th century Chinese book. And basically the story is this amazing world building experience where they explore this mix of Hinduism and Chinese mythology. It seems to be set in something like a Chinese dynasty. There are gods, there are Shishin, there are demon-like creatures, there are angel-like creatures, and humans that are trying to get along in this world despite the influence of demons. Anyway, I remember loving that series as a kid. It was the first box set I ever bought. I rewatched it, and I constantly wanted to know more about the world because there were just aspects that it felt like you were supposed to know, and I don't know how you were supposed to know what was going on. It was before I understood what manga was or anything like that, or that anime was adapted from manga. Anyway, Funimation, earlier this year, apparently silently, started remaking that entire series, and the quality is amazing. It seems to be filling in a lot of the plot holes. It's changing the story ever so slightly to give you the proper pacing so that you can see, oh, that's why this event happened. And I'm just all the characters look the same. All the voices sound very similar, except less annoying. They've been brought away from that super high pitch to they may sound a little bit goofy still, but I'm enjoying it. I really am. I can't say it's a good anime. I'm not necessarily recommending it to anyone, but if anyone watched the anime Soul Eater and they wanted more, check this out. You'll probably love it because it is beautifully animated, if nothing else. And there are some super dark moments that are like, oh wow, that just happened. Like super. I do think they're doing a good job.
I love Soul Eaters, so this makes me so happy.
No, Soul Hunter.
Oh, Soul Hunter. You just said
you
Soul
said
Eater
Soul
earlier.
Hunter at the beginning, but then you just said Soul Eater, and I was confused too.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Soul Hunter.
Well, then
Soul
never mind.
Hunter.
The remake is called Hakyu Hoshin Ingi instead of Hoshin Ingi or Soul Hunter. So look that up on Funimation.
Gotcha.
Hakyu Hoshin Ingi, if you're interested. Not promising it'll
Sounds
be good.
awesome.
My nostalgia goggles are this big right now, but I am so excited about it.
I just see this
That's
big banner
fantastic.
just popping up saying Soul Hunter, not Soul Eater.
Basically.
Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
No, I think that's it. Everyone I had.
All right. Well,
a
thank
lot
you
of fun
guys for
today.
joining us this week and listening along. You can catch us on Twitch at our Twitch channel. We stream Monday nights. And then several times throughout the week, Jack started doing a LATs play. And we're looking to try to get more content up through Twitch whenever we can. So, as per usual, you can find all our social information just through our website, loseaturn.com. Check us out on Reddit, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can reach out to us. So, other than that, I want to say thank you guys again for joining. I'm Chug Mullins.
I'm Jack Mullins.
I'm Matt Herring. Thank you all again.
Yeah, vote early, vote often, and vote Ryan Reynolds for Kitty Pryde.